Welcome back to The Local Show, a service of Safe Harbor Wills and Trusts and Geddes Federal Savings and Loan. The Local Show, featuring conversations with business owners, employees, and local business leaders about their successes, challenges, and reasons for doing business right here in Central New York. The Local Show, locally produced by Zoey Advertising. Now, here are your hosts, Tom and Steve.
Your bit of weekend fun happens right here with Tom and Steve on The Local Show. Thank you for joining us. If you really want to get a kick out of things, check out the YouTube channel and see it live and in action and all that. I've watched a lot of videos over the past few weeks, because we're doing the whole contracting thing, and I'm meeting my contractors halfway. Well, right now it's 75% me because I can't find anybody.
Well, think of all the money you
right.
saved.
Yeah, and breaking my butt here trying to make this thing happen. Anyway, as I go into my feed, I see all the Zoey advertising stuff and clips from the show, and I get watching our show. And I'm like, wow, this is pretty good.
Yeah.
These guys are fun.
Well, and so many interesting guests and so many interesting local businesses that are here to help people. And how would you get to know them otherwise? Right.
This is the forum to do that. But I got a show for you that I have been watching when I'm trying to decompress, because I'm trying to not be always in learning mode, and take a little break with the brain. And my father had suggested that I start watching the Arnold documentary. Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Okay.
And he was, I was a huge fan. And,
well, you were a bodybuilder in the day. Yeah.
And he inspired me to do a lot. And what an incredible story. It's on Netflix.
Okay.
If you have a chance and you want to learn, the rate from when he was a little boy back in Austria, really cool documentary on that whole thing and how he became who he is today. It's kind of cool.
I might, Judy has Netflix. I don't, but she watches it and has access to it. That might be worth watching.
It is. It's cool because he's such an icon and everything. Now here's a guy who's got a body like Arnold, first time I'm meeting him, it's Paul Zobel. He is the owner of Medicare. Paul, how are you there, Paul?
I'm doing great. How are you?
Good. You want to give me a double bicep or? No, it's just Paul's a guy who has a business that he's going to tell you all about right now, because I'm not sure exactly what you do, and I want you to unpack that for me.
Sure. Well, first of all, thank you very much for the opportunity. As you mentioned, my name is Paul Zobel. The name of the business is Medicare Paul. And as it might infer from the name, I help people with Medicare. What I've found is that Medicare is one of those things that just about everybody is going to need. And unfortunately, virtually nobody really understands it.
Yeah, I'll say.
So what we do is we do a thorough education process where we first educate people just about the different components of Medicare, how to sign up, when to sign up, when you don't want to sign up, what is Medicare Part A, what is Medicare Part B, what is Medicare Part D, what do I hear about penalties, what does all of this mean? And we do a thorough education, and we do a lot of seminars around the Syracuse area and all throughout upstate New York to help people understand. And then once people do have a good grasp of Medicare, in many cases, they're going to need something with their Medicare. And that's where it really gets confusing, because there are probably, in Onondaga County, there are 36 options that have no cost whatsoever. And then there are options that do have cost, what are called Medicare supplement plans compared to Advantage plans. And we help people understand what are the differences between the plans that cost money and the ones that don't. And then once somebody feels that they have a good understanding of which direction they want to go, I represent almost all of the available options, and I'm completely independent. So I can help the person find out what's going to be the right product for them for this year, and then help them to figure out every year after that, make adjustments along the way. But that's the gist of it.
Wow, it's a lot.
It seems confusing.
Yeah.
And so you bring a decoder ring to the answers. Right? So you're like, okay, this is it. Because my perception, and I'm not old enough to be on Medicare, and that's good.
And you have warped perceptions.
And I have warped perception is that Medicare is Medicare, and then everyone else is trying to sell you something. Am I wrong?
Yes. And that's part of the challenge. And that's why, again, I appreciate being on here. The challenge is when somebody's turning 65, they're getting bombarded. They're getting bombarded with mail and phone calls. And, why, if all of these people are trying to contact me, there must be some kind of sale, as you said, that's ready to be made.
A con, if you will. It seems like it's a con.
Right. And that's common. So the biggest challenge for me is just, that's why I love doing these seminars, is just people don't know who to trust. So if I'm able to get in front of somebody, they can kind of get a vibe of what I'm about. But yeah, no, everybody is going to need something with their Medicare. You really don't want to just have Medicare, because if you just had Medicare, first of all, you definitely need a drug plan, because otherwise you're going to start incurring a penalty if you don't have one. But putting that aside, if you just have Medicare, you're leaving yourself exposed to possibly a lot of out-of-pocket costs that are unnecessary, because Medicare doesn't cover everything. So with a Medicare Advantage plan, for example, you can add something that has no cost, and now there's a cap to the most that you would ever have to pay if you had a ton of costs. Or with a Medicare supplement plan, you're going to pay a monthly cost, but you'll be able to go to any doctor or any hospital in the United States that accepts Medicare, and depending on which Medicare supplement plan you have almost everything covered. So you definitely, everybody needs something. It's very frustrating when you meet somebody that has nothing with their Medicare for a long time, because it's just not necessary. You are going to need something for sure.
We were chatting on the phone earlier this week, and you explained something to me that I didn't understand was, hey, let's put in, there's so many choices, and you don't charge for the services.
Absolutely free.
And let's put your doctors in. Let's put the medicines you're on in this program, and we'll add these other factors of what's important to you and co-pays, and then we'll say, hey, if you choose this plan, you'll save this much and you're covered. Don't do this and this. Here are your 2 options or 3 options. I thought that was a remarkable way of going at it. Do you have workshops coming up sometime soon?
We do. I don't have that schedule right in front of me, but they're periodic. Just about every week we have something going on in the area.
The Medicaid, Paul.
Medicare.
What's with the Medicaid in the word? Okay, it isn't Medicaid. Thank you.
Medicare.
Too much Safe Harbor Wills and Trust. So MedicarePaul.com.
Correct.
There's information there, and people can engage there and connect with you?
Absolutely.
Okay.
How big is your office? Do you have other people who do what you do?
Yeah, I have 15 people, but a lot of the people are scattered throughout New York State. I have another couple of people here in upstate New York, and our office is on North Salina Street, right in Syracuse.
So if people have questions, they could call 663-8129?
Correct, 315. Yep.
31. That's the big area code, Tom.
Big area code
so
again.
Write that down. If that's you and you have questions, reach out to Paul, 663-8129, Medicare Paul, MedicarePaul.com. Thank you, Paul.
Thank you very much.
All right. That's going to wrap things up for the local show, and that leaves us with the rest of the weekend so that I can go saw and bang up my knuckles and do all that kind of stuff.
I'm going out to dinner and going to go fishing town.
Yeah, that figures. That's good. You're going to spend time, well, you can't spend time with the one boy because he's in undisclosed location.
Undisclosed faraway place, but we're going to have time with family and friends, and
excellent.
It'll be great.
Well, good for you. All right. On behalf of the local show, Tom and Steve and Zoey Advertising, God bless you and your families. Why not take a walk today and every day with a friend or family member? You know, it keeps the weight down and the mind clear. The local show is heard every Saturday morning from 11 to 1, and then again on Sunday morning from 7 to 9. Listen together with a friend. Until next week, get down to business and keep doing business locally. Tell your friends about the local show right here on 570 WSYR, 106.9 FM, iHeartRadio app, and on YouTube at Zoey Advertising 3809.